Hi everyone, welcome to the seventh video of number properties, positives and negatives. I hope you are enjoying the videos and you are learning from it. In this video, we'll be covering the concepts of positives and negatives, how they are tested on GMAT. So let's get started. So first, basic of positive and negative is that in GMAT, any variable x can have either a positive or a negative value. So for example, in a question, if it is given about x, you can't consider that it's only positive until unless any evidence is given. And for example, if minus x is given, it need not mean that it is negative only. So for example, if x is equals to minus 5, minus x is equals to 5. So if in the question statement minus x is given, it does not mean that it is only a negative number. So you need to take care of that. GMAT may trap you in these kind of questions. In GMAT, positives and negatives, they try to trap the students by confusing it with the inequality questions. We'll cover this inequality topic later on in detail, but just to show you that how positives and negatives are tested on GMAT. So it's a data sufficiency question. So let me write first AD, BCE. So now what the question says, if x minus y by z is less than 0, is x greater than y? So we need to see that whether we are able to get the answer from the two statements. So we need to be careful in these kind of questions wherever there is a less than or a greater than sign. In these kind of questions, we can't do x minus y by z is less than 0. That implies x minus y is less than 0. We take z on the other side. That implies x is less than y. This is completely wrong. So what do we do? If it is saying x minus y divided by z is less than 0, it is saying that this number is negative number. So either x minus y or z, one out of these two is a negative number. So we don't know which one. Now let's take the statement 1 alone. Statement 1 says z is less than 0. That implies z is a negative number. That implies that x minus y is a positive number. So that implies that x is greater than y. So we are able to solve the question by statement 1 alone. So we strike off BCE. Let's take the statement 2 alone. It says x plus y is less than 0. If x plus y is less than 0, it can also happen if x is negative and y is negative. Correct? If x is equals to minus 1 and y is equals to minus 2, then also x plus y is less than 0. If x is equals to minus 2 and y is equals to minus 1, then also x plus y is less than 0. In this case, we are not able to say whether x is greater than y. So statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. So the answer to this question is A. In this question, you need to take care that one of the statement is given to you as a fact. From this statement and combining with other statements, you need to find that whether x is greater than y. And from fact, we know that either x minus y or z, only one of them is negative. Okay, that's why statement 1 is true. Now let's go to the another question. Now here if we see, so what is the question asking us? Is x minus 2y plus z is greater than x plus y minus z. In this case, we can move the statements around. Although it's a greater than or less than sign, we can move the variables around in this type. So let's simplify this. Okay, so x and x gets cut. So let's bring z to this side. So it means that 2z, and let's take y to this side, is greater than 3y. Okay, so this is the question. Is 2z greater than 3y? Since it's a data sufficiency question, so we write here AD, BCE. Let's take statement 1 first. Statement 1 says that y is positive. Statement 1 says that y is positive. So statement 1 alone is not sufficient to answer the question because nothing is mentioned about z. So we strike off A and D. Now let's go to statement 2 alone. Statement 2 alone says z is negative. Again, it does not say anything about y. So statement 2 alone is also not sufficient to answer the question. Now let's combine statement 1 and 2. Statement 1 and 2 combine says y is positive and z is negative. So what we need to find is 2z greater than 3y. So we are able to find by this combination that 2z cannot be greater than 3y because y is positive and z is negative. However, we are able to tell the answer as no to this yes no question by combining these two statements. So the answer choice of this question is C. We are able to answer a yes no question. So the thing is not that whether 2z is greater than 3y or not. It's a data sufficiency question. We are able to get an answer from a yes and no by combining these two statements. So the answer choice is C. Okay. Let's see some of the other rules. One of the rules of positive and negative is very simple, that a double negative is a positive. So for example, if you see that 8 minus 2 is equals to 8 plus 2. Minus and minus, when they get together, it becomes a plus. So it becomes a 10. Why this is important? It looks like a very simple thing, right? But how GMAT traps you? For example, in a question, it comes 5 minus 9 minus x. Some of the students in a hurry may write this as 5 minus 9 minus x, which is very, very wrong. The correct simplification of this is 5 minus 9 plus x, because minus and minus will become plus. So sometimes above rule, although very simple, is usually used to trap the students, because in the hurry the students tend to write it as 5 minus 9 minus x, which is wrong, and the correct answer or correct simplification is 5 minus 9 plus x. Another rule is negative into negative is a positive. So if we multiply minus 5 into minus 3, two negative numbers, it gives a positive number. Okay. However, if one of the numbers is negative, that is, we multiply negative into positive, it results into a negative. So if you have odd number of negative signs, answer is always negative. So for example, if we are multiplying minus 5, 3 and minus 2. Here how many negatives are there? 1 and 2, which is an even number. So the result will always be a positive. If the numbers are minus 5, 3 and 2, here we have only one negative, which is an odd number. So the result will always be a negative. So let's see a question around this. It's a data sufficiency question. Let's try to solve it. Is the product of all elements in the set S negative? It talks about all elements, 100% of the elements. So it's a yes no kind of a question. Is the product of all elements in set S are negative? So since it's a data sufficiency question, let me write A, D, B, C, E. Let's look at the statement 1 alone. Statement 1 says all elements in set S are negative. So we need to find that whether product of all elements in set S are negative or not. If set S has even number of elements, then their product will be positive. If the set S has odd number of elements, then the product will be negative. You remember this property? If you have odd number of negative signs, then only the answer is a negative sign. So statement 1 alone is not sufficient. So we strike off A and D. Now let's look at statement 2. Statement 2 says there are 5 negative numbers in the set S. Statement 2 says there are 5 negative numbers in set S. Normally, the students think that there are 5 negative numbers, so if the product of 5 negative numbers should be negative. However, in the statement 2, it is not given that there are only 5 negative numbers. So the statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Now let's combine statement 1 and statement 2. It says that there are 5 negative numbers and all numbers are negative numbers, so there is no other number. So by combining these two statements together, we get that the product of set S has to be a negative. So the answer choice to this question is C. You need to be very careful around this. Statement 2, it is given there are 5 negative numbers. It is not saying that there are only 5 negative numbers. Okay. Now let's try another question. It's a problem solving question. It is given that if x and y is greater than 0, which of the following must be negative? So this is the question. So we'll try to solve this question same way as we solved in odd and even. First we try to solve it by our concepts and then we try to solve it by plugging in the numbers. Now let's see the concepts first. If xy is greater than 0, it can only happen in two situations. If x and y both are positive, correct? If x and y both are positive, if x and y both are negative, then also this thing can happen. So this is given to us. Okay, let's see the first statement. X plus y, we need to see whether it is negative or positive. If x and y are both negative, then x plus y will be negative. In this case, x plus y will be negative. In this case, x plus y will be positive. So this is not the answer. Okay. Now let's see the second question. It is given mod x. So although we'll cover modulus in the later chapters, but mod of any number is always a positive number. If x and y are positive, in this case, mod x plus y is nothing but a positive plus positive, which is again a positive number. If x and y both are negative, then x mod becomes a positive and y is a negative. When we add positive to a negative, it may result into a positive number, it may result into a negative number depending on which number is larger of the two. So this choice is also not correct. So let's go to the third choice, which says y minus x. If x plus y are both positive, we don't know which one is larger out of these. So it may result into a positive number, it may result into a negative number also. So this answer choice is also not true. Now let's see the fourth answer choice, x by y. If x and y both are positive, then x by y definitely will be a positive number. If x and y both are negative, then negative by negative is always resulting into a positive number because the negatives cancel. So this is also not the right answer choice. Now let's see the fifth one, minus x by y. If x by y are both positive, so minus of positive is always a minus number. If x and y both are negative, then also negative by negative is a positive. So in that case also it will be a negative of a positive, which will be a negative answer. So the answer choice to this question is E. The fifth one is the right answer choice. Now let's try to solve it by plugging in. X and y are greater than 0. Let's take x is equals to 1, y is equals to 2, simple, which are both positive numbers. So the answer choice A says x plus y is equals to 1 plus 2 is equals to 3, which is positive. So it is not a negative. So A is not an answer choice. Now let's take B. Mod of x plus y is equals to mod of 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3. Again, it is also not a right choice. Now let's say C, y minus x. So here y is 2 and x is 1. So 2 minus 1 is equals to 1, which is again a positive. So this is also not a right choice. Now let's take D. It says x by y. X by y is equals to 1 by 2. Again, it's a positive number. So it's not a choice. Now let's see answer E. It says minus x by y is equals to minus 1 by 2, which is a negative number. So in this case, answer E is the right choice. So sometimes people may plug in both as negative numbers. So let's take x is equals to minus 1, y is equals to minus 2. In this case only also xy is greater than 0. Okay, in this case answer choice A says x plus y, that is minus 1 minus 2, which is equals to minus 3. Correct, which is a negative number. Answer choice B, mod of x plus y is equals to mod of minus 1. Y is minus 2. So it gives us 1 minus 2 is equals to minus 1, which is also negative number. So what I want to say is when you are plugging in numbers, you need to take every case. That's why in my previous video of odd and even also I have said very clearly that I always prefer to go with the concepts. If your concepts and foundations are strong, your no question can get wrong. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the session on positives and negatives. See you in the next video. In the next video, we'll be covering fractions, which is again an important topic of number properties. Have fun. Good learning. Bye bye.